A quiet battle is playing out in the press and in the federal government on the right to use the words like milk and yogurt. Sarah Mock has more on this contentious issue from the nation's capital.
Dairy is a staple of the American diet, but in recent years, more and more products called milk aren't really milk at all.
There's a reason why the plant-based dairy imitators want to use terms like milk and cheese, because they recognize the powerful halo effect you get when you call something milk. And in the case of these imitation dairy products, certainly we see evidence that people are confused that you're not getting the same amount of nutrition when you get a milk imitator compared to the 9 essential nutrients and vitamins you're getting with real milk.
Representatives for American milk producers are asking the FDA to crack down on the use of dairy-related words on non-dairy food products, based on the agency's existing definitions.
We've had standards of identity on the books of the U.S. government for a long, long time, over 70 years. And what those standards say is that milk comes from a cow and other dairy animals.
They argue that other countries with similar regulations actually enforce them. And brands that sell in the U.S. as imitation milks often sell abroad as drinks or beverages. Those on the plant-based product side say this isn't a question of misleading labels. It's about using words that shoppers will recognize.
Well, I think it's important to protect producers' First Amendment rights to call their products by the names that consumers use. So these companies have a First Amendment right to call their products, to label their products the way they want to label them, as long as it's not deceiving consumers.
Almi says that consumers understand what they're buying when the products are labeled with common terms, and emphasizes that they're not necessarily replacing dairy products.
We're not talking about calling soy milk milk, we're talking about calling it soy milk. And you know, it's soy that you use in your cereal and in your coffee. And the consumers who enjoy products like soy milk also enjoy dairy products. So it's a false dichotomy to say this is dairy versus plant-based. Really, these are the same consumers of these products. And this is about the right of producers to call their foods the names that consumers recognize.
Dairy farmers, as well as soybean, nut, and rice producers, are invested in the FDA's decision on whether to allow companies to label their products with, quote, common and usual names, like milk. Though they have not yet responded to a recent Good Food Institute petition on the subject, a decision from the agency is expected soon. For RFD-TV, Sarah Mock, Washington.
And we'll talk more with Chris Galen of the National Milk Producers Federation later this morning to get an update on the dairy labeling issue. Stay with us. Meteorologist Tim Ross has your first forecast coming up at 10 after the hour, including the latest track for Irma. We'll be right back.